morning. Welcome to Decentralized TV, Coffee, Crypto, and Coffee, where we drink about coffee and talk about crypto. Hope everyone's doing well. I was not. I was very sick yesterday, which is exactly how I wanted to spend. It's exactly how I wanted to spend my Valentine's Day, laying on the couch, wondering if I'm going to have to run to the bathroom again 20 times. Just 20 times. Food poisoning, the stomach flu, I don't know. It wasn't good. I wish that on nobody except for somebody. But I hope everyone's doing well today. What's up, Boston? Good morning to you, brother. What's up, boy? So we are going to get into the markets. Yeah, we're a little late today. That's because I had a few fiascos this morning. I had to yeehaw. But here we are, faithful and true. So let's look at the markets. We've had some more bleeding. Looking at Bitcoin. Refresh this, make sure I'm not tripping. So yeah, here we go. So we're have seen and knocking on that 23 as if we're giving us. We'll take a deep dive coin specifically. I'm feeling like we get rejected here. I don't know. Ethereum still gonna the same kind of gains. Bitcoin is 5% over the 24-hour. Tether grew by quite a bit. That's one of our stories today. And then BNB recovered after bleeding out a good 9% or so. Some people bounced back and were like, all right, I see how this is going to resolve. There's no fiasco here. It's just, Binance had basically contracted with a company called Paxos. They had a stable coin that they were backing with dollars. And they're like, because of some legal stuff, we're going to stop doing this. And so we'll still serve past customers, but we're not going to take out any new ones. And so a lot of people heard just FUD and they sold the news. And so that's why we see that bounce back. XRP had some pretty positive news come in. And so people are buying the news on that, 5% up. Cardano, same thing. There's a lot of news going on with Cardano. 9% up. Dogecoin, people love memes. Check out what Elon Musk said. That's usually why Dogecoin's price changed. And Poland, people are just bullish in general on these smart contract platforms. They know that NFTs are going to stop being so gimmicky and are actually going to be useful. A lot of the bad actors got shaken out, and that's a good thing. So that is our general market update. But looking at the global, looking at our global market. I'm waiting for Starlink to hook stuff in the middle of nowhere. So, looking here, we can see 30-day. We see a little recovery in the space here, right? So we kind of had this low, and we're starting to recover some money. So we'll see if we break. What's this? 1.13 trillion. So we'll see if we break that. Looking at Bitcoin, this is just a big look at this big picture, because we become sober in our trading when we see like exactly where we are on the roadmap. We know that there's a Chick-fil-A coming up. We can go, get some frosted lemonades or something. So, we're rocking here at the bottom still. We haven't bounced off this line yet, but at some point we're gonna bounce off that line. I'm thinking we have to have some sort of a concerted leg down. I think we have to either test 15K again and break through it, or test it and bounce off it. So one of those two things is what I expect to happen in order for this little green box to be confirmed and for upward trajectory to be handled. So what is up, Indo? Good morning, brother. Guten Morgen to you. All right. And then this is a chart I saw that I actually thought was pretty useful. So this gentleman, Vince Prince, he was showing like an analysis of the accumulation phases, the halvings, and then also the rallies to all-time highs. And so, the first halving, we saw a rally pretty soon after that. It didn't take long, but just notice this rally on the first rally, it wasn't just a straight shot up. It was a straight shot up, and then it retraced to find where there was any like consolation where people are like, yeah, that's a good deal. And then we moved up again, parabolic to all-time highs here at 1200, and this is back in 2013. And then we see this steady decline. Day traders are still rocking this, but the majority of this bleed out is people who are like not heavy in the space. They're looking at their portfolios and like, I thought I was up. I'm freaking down like so much money. And so it's that exact personality type that causes this to just kind of slowly bleed out while it's over. And then we kind of hit this bottom part, and notice this bottom right here correlated with this wick on its first run up. And so we tested that, and we were like, yeah, we'll hold that. Yeah, we'll hold that. And so we began our first accumulation, or after the first half thing, right? So this is for the most part, this is where your DC really goes to work for you, right? And then once you've DCA'd on that, we kind of hit this right here. Once we hit that key level, people are like, try it again. Okay, we confirmed it. Yeet. And we rocked all the way up to like 20K nearly, right? Like, that's literally what happened. And like I was in disbelief. I was like, we've already gone up. We have like no precedent for being up this high. And people just kept pushing it, man. So, and I think a big issue that caused us to rally was that like Bittrex also owned UST or USDT, and they were investigated on this already, but they were, unless there's new news on this, they were basically printing USDT beyond what they actually had dollars to back, and then they were buying Bitcoin with this like overprinted USDT, and so that was the big reason why these, because they were being bought with ghost money. It wasn't even backed by anything. So interesting. We then kind of bled out until we hit this key level right in here, these key levels, and we are currently in an accumulation phase. That's where we are right now, which is why we keep telling everyone like you need to be dollar cost averaging. We saw this rally up, and it followed this guy's expectations. So I think we're kind of flirting around with breaking out of this last leg of the accumulation. I think we're going to see all-time highs probably next year after that. So, and then finally looking at Bitcoin herself, I feel like Bitcoin's a lady. She's got dignity, and she has opinions though. She'll let you know. So these are the bands that we're trading on the day level. And so, this is not financial advice, but are the key levels I'm personally looking, because we've already had, multiple taps on these lines here. And so clearly it's proving as support and resistance. So we did bounce off this line as expected, and we're going to find out if we hold 23.7 or so. If it goes up here, my guess is we get rejected and we test this 18 level and possibly this 15 level. I'm really hoping we see that quick leg down, because the Bitcoin position and ride her up to the moon, so this is the whole market situation. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hump day. I know yesterday some people think was hump day because it was Valentine's Day, but it's not. Today is hump day. Today is Wednesday. Why not both? We can have two hump days, can't we? There was no hump day for me because I was very sick. I don't know if it was food poisoning or stomach flu, but I was not good. I like 3 in the morning. I was like, oh no, that's not good. And so I just like ran to the bathroom. I had to throw up apparently. So, yeah. But let's get into ours for the day instead of talking about Brandon. That's cool, huh? Yeah. So our first news of the day is relevant because we're going to see continued adoption with key figures talking publicly about Bitcoin and its actual utilization. So, our first story is Peterson. Love him or hate him. I personally like the guy, but I understand why some people feel threatened by him or don't like some of the way he talks like Kermit the Frog. Um, so Jordan Peterson asked for help onboarded onto the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So that's pretty cool. I think a lot of people who aren't even in crypto are going to see this and be like, "Oh, I know this name. Maybe I should pay attention to this technology." And so I think that no matter who the person is, whether you like or dislike the person, uh, anytime you see a big key figure talk publicly about trying to adopt a key crypto technology, that's good for our space. It's good for our space because people who aren't crypto heads are going to start asking questions about how this stuff works, why this guy even thinks this is important, that type of thing. So, to read this, renowned Canadian psychologist and cultural critic Jordan Peterson has expressed his interest in joining the Bitcoin Network. Challenge came from Twitter Nakamoto on February 14th. Peterson shared a Bitcoin Lightning address and crowdfunding platform GoFundMe. This is after Peterson shared GoFundMe page asking for donations to help those who suffered losses due to fire. In this case, Nakamoto asked Peterson to set up a Lightning address as it would open up donations globally, as well as those without credit cards or debit cards. Peterson noted that limited knowledge of setting up an address and asked to be enlightened. That's great. So, they're posting Lightning open donations from an entire world who don't have debit or credit cards. People have had enough of GoFundMe. And so, in case people aren't privy, GoFundMe has rug pulled, and a lot of people aren't. I'm like tripping. A lot of people aren't having it, right? Because if you say that you are going to be used for crowdfunding and you take a large portion of the money that we are raising for a cause and you're scalping it, that's a problem. People don't really like that. So Bitcoin solves this problem, of course. There's no middleman, and we're able to keep moving forward. So, yeah, he said, I don't know how to do this. Would you enlighten me? So indeed, a few Twitter users also volunteered to help Peterson set up the address. The Canadians' openness to embrace the Bitcoin Lightning Network aligns with his past support. Notably, with soaring inflation, Peterson has previously viewed Bitcoin as the hope of the future. His support for the cryptocurrency is based on the asset's lack of distortions or interference. Amen. According to the psychologist, cryptocurrencies enable a free market for all. They absolutely do. And so Bitcoin Lightning Network reaches record high. Fascinating. It is worth noting that the Bitcoin Lightning Network is a second layer solution for the Bitcoin blockchain that enables near instant transactions with low fees. It's often viewed as improving Bitcoin's scalability and increasing its adoption. Notably, as of February 15th, the network reached an all-time high in capacity, or the amount of Bitcoin locked in payment channels. The new record high saw the network grow over 60% since the beginning of 2022. At the moment, the capacity stands at 5.53 BTC. Overall, the Lightning Network challenges observed in the Bitcoin mainnet has made it a compelling choice for individuals and corporations alike. For instance, the rollout Bitcoin payments in El Salvador was facilitated by Strike, a payment service that operates on the Lightning Network. Another case is Twitter's adoption of the Lightning Network to enable Bitcoin tips on its platform. So, real quick, let's talk about Bitcoin Lightning Network. So, first off, in the chat, if you'd let us know if you've heard of the Bitcoin Lightning Network or if you've used it, I'd be interested to know how this specific community is already engaged with it. But for those who don't know, the way Bitcoin Lightning Network works is it is a sidechain, and so you're able to commit funds to this sidechain, and then after a specific amount of time, it'll actually make a aggregated commit to the actual Bitcoin blockchain. And so by doing that, you're not paying all these extra transaction fees. You're not limited to the speed of the main Bitcoin network because you're only using the main Bitcoin network as a long-term store of information. You're using the Bitcoin Lightning Network as the short-term live store. So the whole idea is like, if you had a company you worked for who paid on the Bitcoin Lightning Network, you'd be paid per minute you're working there or per hour you're working there. And so as soon as your shift was over, it would commit, but you'd have those funds seen on your account. So pretty powerful stuff. And I'm glad to see that we have some people like Jordan Peterson who are actually open to learning new things. I think demonstrating that publicly is probably what's going to push some people over the edge of, hey, maybe I should do this too. Because if you're doing crowdfunding and they either politically censor you because they don't like your cause, we've seen that already, or they scalp a whole bunch of money out of the donations to fund your cause. Either way, that makes it not a good platform, right? You want reliable funding, and you want as much of the money people donate to go to the cause and not infrastructure. So Bitcoin's a better solution. That's the takeaway. Bitcoin solves a lot of these problems that people are constantly crying about. So Binance. Binance is kind of in the news all over the place today. So Binance says ChatGPT could help crypto adoption. Here's how. Although the text-based artificial intelligence platform ChatGPT can be used by cryptocurrency enthusiasts for amusement, such as how to write a rap song about Bitcoin, its usability in the crypto space spans way beyond the bare entertainment value and into the sphere of crypto education and adoption. As it happens, ChatGPT produces human-like responses to questions across an extensive range of topics, including blockchain and crypto technologies, allowing beginners to learn about concepts such as proof of work, Bitcoin mining, and others, as noted in blog posts published by Binance February 10th. According to the observation by the crypto exchange, ChatGPT has the benefit of being able to help clarify concepts in an interactive and conversational manner. Users can also keep asking questions until they feel like they have fully understood whatever crypto-related topic is they're interested in. Indeed, ChatGPT has the capability to simplify and complicate concepts. Or I'm sorry, I read that wrong. The capability to simplify complicated concepts and present them in a manner that's suitable for the beginner, as Finbold team discovers when it asks the chatbot to explain Bitcoin like a 1920s mobster. Oh, that's good. The results were amusing, at the same time very informative. Like a mobster. That's so good. Oh man. So for those who wish to further immerse themselves into the cryptosphere, the AI bot can shorten the learning curve and make it easier for individuals and businesses to get started with using crypto, thus increasing the crypto adoption rate. As its capabilities evolve further, ChatGPT, I call him PD, by the way, so PD, could be able to help more advanced users code crypto trading bots and terminals, as well as aid them with smart contracts, thereby allowing them to actively participate in building the innovative industry, the Binance team said. I can personally advocate that that's absolutely true. I've been using it to get coding examples and using it to confirm certain like specifications. Just for example, I had like a server that had very specific hardware requirements, and I was trying to figure out like why no versions of Ubuntu would install properly on this thing, and like they were throwing weird errors, like they were crashing when I was trying to install it. And I went on ChatGPT and I was giving it all the parameters of the hardware and said, what version of Linux should I install on this? And it told me exactly the version I needed because it knew a specific hardware component I had was not compatible with a specific version of Ubuntu. So that was the first technical issue I had solved collaborating with ChatGPT. So I think this is absolutely correct that ChatGPT is a tool people should start using. And I think this falls into the space similar to Google. Like, do you remember how when like Ask Jeeves was the main search engine, and it was only like probably half the people who even used the computer who used the search engine properly. Most people just went on yahoo.com and would click around on links. They wouldn't like search for specific things they wanted. But people who got really good at using search engines, now it's like a hireable skill set. Like if people are like, yeah, I know so much because I have Google Foo, what they're saying is I'm really good at putting in useful search criteria, which gives me a high aptitude to find answers, right? So whenever I'm in charge of part of the hiring process, we're interviewing and hiring people, I always look for two things. One, do they have a can-do attitude? And and two, do they have the aptitude to find solutions? Because if you don't have a can-do attitude, I don't believe you're going to find answers. You're going to look to pawn off work on other people. And if you have an aptitude to read the manual, to look at forums, to go on the Discord or the Slack channel or whatever the community is of technical people who work on this platform, and then beyond that, you can get into Chat GPT, Googling things properly. Like those are skills I care that because if I'm an architect and you come and ask me something and say, hey, Brandon, can you help me with something? I'm stuck doing this. I'm going to ask you questions like, did you do basic things? And if you didn't, I'm going to be kind of annoyed you're even asking me before you've done your side of the work. I'm happy to help if you've done all that work and you just want a second opinion or you want to get my take on it. But if you haven't done any of the legwork and you're just trying to get me to do your job, I'm pissed. Like, I don't want to play that game. So I think that's why ChatGPT is so important. It's now another part of the stack of competency, right? People who have that high aptitude to find solutions are probably going to consult ChatGPT. And then if they still can't find a solution or they aren't quite sure how to apply that information, yeah, talk to me. I want to discuss it with you. You have properly done the legwork to inform yourself and then ask educated questions. Thank you. I want to be surrounded by people like you, right? But if you're someone who just pawns off work on other people and says, well, they're smarter than me, so they'll figure it out. Like that's a cop out, dude. Don't play. So yeah, AOL was the internet for a while. That's absolutely true. And then people started remember I saw people using like Netscape and I was like, what the hell is this? Because most people I knew worked at IBM growing up, and so I started seeing them start using like Yahoo, because Yahoo had like pretty decent news, apparently, like better than AOL. And they had like pretty good stock trading things. They still do. People still use them for that purpose. So, but everyone knows we got online to AIM with the honeys, talking on chat with the girls, baby. Anyways, chatting online with babes all day. So, web experts towards a resolution in an SEC lawsuit. So, this is probably true. Ripple has been grappling. Yeah, online pimping. Yeah, you're just jealous because I've been chatting online with babes all day. So, yeah, what Web3 legal expert says Ripple has 3-year head start towards a resolution in the SEC lawsuit. They jumped right on this, and I think that I'm almost wondering if that was completely intentional. If Ripple was just trolling for attention, that way they could just hash it out with the right people. It's like, what's the best way to get the experts' attention? Piss them off, well, you have their attention, they're mad at you. So let's read this. The ongoing legal tussle between U.S. Security Exchange Commission, SEC, and Ripple is touted to have a long-term effect on the future of the crypto industry. In this line, Jesse Hines, a Web3 lawyer, has stated that Ripple has a significant advantage over the crypto companies that may face similar legal action from the SEC, noting the blockchain firm has a 3-year head start in a tweet February 15th. He believes Ripple has the potential to set a significant legal precedent for the industry, alluding that the company has developed a skilled legal team. That's a big thing. Having a good legal team when you're pulling, stunts with the SEC, like that matters, dude. In this view, other companies facing similar lawsuits might be forced to build their legal teams from scratch. Yep, and that takes a while. Real talk. Ripple and Grayscale Bitcoin in the same long battle. Yeah, and wherever they come out ahead is going to inform the rest of the space, and we're either going to be pissed that they played us, or we're going to be grateful that they played their hand right. So either way is what it is. These are positives and negatives or there are positives and negatives in everything. Take, for example, this recent SEC assault on crypto. Negative, all of it. Positive, what is this shit? Take, for example, the recent SEC assault on crypto. The negative, all of it. The positive, Ripple has a 3-year head start on everyone else towards the resolution. Even XRP haters are going to start hoping and praying that Ripple wins. Yeah, and I find myself in that group. Like I think XRP is not a decentralized solution. I think they're a distributed solution, good for banking institutions. But at very least, I think that they do inform policy. So for that, Ripple represents, crypto systems, which we have some crypto systems we care very much for. So I agree with that. The destiny of many of these actions will lie in the Ripple defense. If there is one company in the space that I would want to have the first shot at making case law, it's Ripple. So that was worded terribly, by the way. That was really hard for me to follow even the words coming out of my own mouth, and they weren't my own words. So it's worth noting that the SEC has sued Ripple for selling unregistered securities in the form of XRP tokens, with both parties awaiting summary judgment that it is speculated to take place in March. Well, March ain't too far away, guys. It's 2 to 4 weeks from now. Indeed, legal experts led by XRP holder John Deaton have termed the SEC security label misleading. Gary Gensler and the SEC keep focusing on the token itself, calling the vast majority of the cryptocurrencies themselves securities. The problem is that smart, influential people other than Gensler are pushing this false narrative that tokens themselves are securities. Yeah. Hein's remarks are noteworthy, as they come at a time when the crypto industry is facing increased scrutiny from regulators worldwide. With SEC among the leading agencies, for instance, the SEC has settled with crypto exchange Kraken over staking. In the deal, Kraken has been forced to halt its staking services in the United States. On the other hand, the regulator has also sued Paxos, the issuer of Binance BUSD stablecoin, on the ground that product is unregistered security. Yeah, I don't think it is either. Overall, the outcome of SEC and Ripple is highly anticipated to impact the value of most cryptocurrencies, with XRP first in line. Yeah, Ripple is the government's nipple. It is, and they want to get you drinking from it. That way, you can call them mama. Yep. The government ain't your mommy, oh yo daddy. On the other hand, yep. So XRP price. So by press time, XRP was trading at 0.38, having record gains over 4% in the last 24 hours. However, on the weekly chart, XRP is down 5%. And that's what we saw this morning. But why does this specific story matter? It matters because they're emphasizing how important it is to have a sound legal team constructed. When you're dealing with some of the highest courts in the land, like the SEC, for example, you better lawyer up, dude. You better lawyer up, because if you don't lawyer up and you come unprepared, it'll either take too long or your case will get thrown out and you'll get rolled. So, no matter what, this is good advice for any company looking to not just ride in the wake of what these other companies are doing. So, or you can always just set up a platform that's non-custodial to begin with, and then who cares, because you're non-custodial. Wouldn't that be a clever thing to do? So Pendulum co-founder says the World Economic Forum can't stop crypto innovation and adoption, and thank the good Lord above for that. In an exclusive interview with Finbold, Alexander Wilk, the co-founder of Pendulum, a public blockchain connecting traditional finance with decentralized finance, or DeFi, has maintained that the influential global organizations such as the World Economic Forum cannot hamper the growth of the crypto sector. Wilk highlighted how the crypto industry, through use cases such as DeFi, is on course to disrupt the financial landscape. On course? Understatement. On the other hand, with Bitcoin prices attempting to rally after significant 2022 losses, the co-founder explained how the maiden cryptocurrency's price is correlated to macroeconomic factors such as inflation, central bank interest rates. Indeed, he also talked about the short and long-term impact of events such as bankruptcies in the crypto space. Furthermore, Wilk delved into the progress of the pendulum roadmap and the main challenges encountered in designing and building a decentralized and secure blockchain infrastructure. Lastly, he shared Pendulum's plans to ensure there is seamless integration with banking networks in 2023 and beyond. So Pendulum is a public blockchain. For a start, can you give our readers an example of a key real-life use case of your technology? Pendulum's initial key use case is servicing businesses in making instantaneous cross-border, including foreign crypto or currency exchanges, or forex. For example, we have talked to a business in Mexico that is importing goods from Brazil on a regular basis. They usually pay the provider via a classic bank transfer, which costs them several 2 to 3% in fees and would take about 1 to 2 weeks. On one day, the money did not arrive for 2 weeks, and they needed to call up their bank with a very high manual effort to finally find out that the money got stuck with a U.S. bank, and it took additional time to unlock it. Wham, wham, wham. This lack of transparency is the main problem for those businesses, and you'll find this in this whole issue exists across so many sectors. Like the old way of doing things is just sloppy. You have all these like disparate systems, they don't talk to each other properly, and you'll have like a complete roadblock in one, and the only way you find out is if you like rattle the cage enough. Like I've seen this in almost every company I've worked for. There's these like parts of the company that won't actually talk to anyone until it's a big freaking emergency, and you start having to hound dog people and ask, hey, do you know where this case is at? Why this hasn't gone through? Oh yeah, sure. That was given to a guy who went on PTO, and it looks like that case didn't go any further because it's in a backlog. You're like, so that's the reason why my stuff is like 2 weeks late, because you couldn't communicate that because your team's disorganized. So this type of thing happens, and the more we can build systems to just be more transparent, the more we solve this problem. And so for that reason, Pendulum's absolutely barking up the right tree. We have to build systems be more transparent so that key details stop getting stuck in the pipes, because it screws everyone over. It's so bad. So in this line, the developments of decentralized automated market makers, I'm coughing, together with the constantly growing adoption of fully collateralized fiat stablecoins, can solve the main pain points of cross-border payments, reducing costs below 0.1%. It's not bad. Speed up transaction time to a couple of seconds, as well as reducing counterparty settlement risks. So what's the main reason behind your decision to choose the path towards conversions of Forex and DeFi? So the costs on-chain are much lower because novel design AMMs can allocate fiat liquidity and are more capital efficient, resulting in lower slippage and fees for Forex compared to traditional infrastructure. So due to stablecoin standards and the open architecture of DeFi applications, any user can contribute to the liquidity of various currencies, which allows much higher fiat liquidity aggregation. So he's basically saying, because there's a lot of people who can contribute to this, there's more money to slush around and keep things moving. So the transaction finality on the modern public proof of stake blockchains usually take a couple of seconds, and an exchange transaction is secured by the AMM smart contract that executes the transaction as a payment versus payment. So this architecture protects the user's funds and ensures that the sending of tokens will only be allowed and executed. So when the other currencies of trading pairs is received. Settlement and counterparty risks are solved by a smart contract that can only execute public auditable software code running on public infrastructure. I like that sentence. It's public, it's auditable, it's running on public infrastructure. So there's no secrets, right? Next to these direct advantages for the user, on-chain Forex implements a level of transparency that has not been seen before. All reserves, all exchange rates, liquidity, and trades are visible and auditable while protecting user privacy. Everyone wanting more fiat and stablecoin uses on chain. That is so sick. That is super exciting. Sounds like they're truly solving a problem and they're in touch with like what people are trying to accomplish, right? And that's I'll speak on this for a second. So there's this thing called like end user experience, and a lot of techie people have no clue what end user experience is because they're just focused on like, okay, well, I was told by my boss, make some code and make it do these things, and as long as I made some code and it does those things, it's good code. It's like, okay, sure, maybe that's like the first start, but what if it looks ugly? What if it is hard to find these key details I'm looking for? What if it doesn't integrate nicely into other systems I expect it to integrate into? Like, those are key things I need it to do. And so if it doesn't do that, then I'm going to use some other software that does, or at least makes me feel good about it, right? So I think as an ecosystem, as crypto heads, like if we can start focusing on that, and like how does, like, if I had my grandma come in and start trying to use this program, what would she say? Would she say this is too complicated, this isn't explained very well, I don't understand how this works? Or would she be given the type of details she needs step by step to actually use this tool properly? So I call that the grandma test. If we can build applications that our grandma could kind of figure out how to use, like the instructions are so clear that she could figure it out. No disrespect to grandma, she just hasn't had the same amount of time on a computer as people who were born, with a mouse and keyboard in their hands. So yeah, food for thought. build apps that don't suck. How's that sound? So Pendulum's blockchain development started in 2021. The team's experience in blockchain development dates back to 2016, where we were already interacting with stablecoins on the Stellar, or XLM, blockchain. Stellar is made by IBM, by the way. I believe we have a very solid plan and product development in place for achieving our goals in Q1 and 2023 overall. So one of our main challenges is building a decentralized and secure blockchain infrastructure from scratch, building it. With the shared security and decentralization we inherit as a Polkadot parachain. I didn't know that Pendulum was a Polkadot parachain. That's cool. Pendulum is starting at a very high level, even better than some of the top layer 1 blockchain projects. Additionally, we fortunately have a very active community helping us to run nodes and collators. Yeah, that's what it says. A second challenge is our bridge from Stellar to Pendulum, where we bring high quality stable or fiat stable coins into the Polkadot ecosystem. Bridges are always a security challenge, and we had to choose wisely how we deal with the bridge security. With Spacewalk, we found a solution that comes with a decentralized vault architecture for securing our bridge assets. This decentralized concept is much more resistant to attackers and has just passed an external audit. So I know that's a lot of techie speak, but what you need to hear from that is that because they are built on the Polkadot blockchain as a parachain, they benefit from a lot of like interconnected blocks that they can just kind of take apart. Cosmos works this way too. And so that because there's like little crypto blockchain modules and you can kind of tie them together really easy, you can move forward very quickly with high confidence that your platform is actually secure. So it sounds like this is a pretty long article, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it sounds like Pendulum's barking up the right tree, and I think that we should keep our eye on Pendulum and what they're doing, because they're apparently setting some standards in this space. So onto our headline news here. So as BUSD, or Binance USD stablecoin, dies, Tether USDT soaks up another $1 billion. So stablecoin giant Tether saw its flagship token USDT grow by another $1 billion in the aftermath of a regulatory crackdown against one of its rivals, BUSD. The token's market cap started out at $68.47 billion on Tuesday before rocketing upwards to roughly 69.20 billion at about 9:10 a.m. Eastern time, to data from CoinMarketCap. And you know it's trustworthy if it rocketed up to 69. Meanwhile, the Paxos issued BUSD has experienced a nearly equivalent decline from 16.14 billion on Monday to 15.46 billion on Tuesday. Paxos, the company behind the token, confirmed that it would stop minting new units of stablecoins beginning next week, following orders from the New York Department of Financial Services. Stablecoins like BUSD and USDT are cryptocurrencies that are value pegged to a US dollar. Each is backed by a multi-million dollar reserve, mostly comprised of cash and US T-bills. Nice. But comes with the programmability and transferability of a crypto asset. Investors often trade against such tokens on CeFi and DeFi exchanges, that's centralized finance and decentralized finance, when buying other more volatile cryptos, making them a backbone of the crypto economy. BUSD losses may show that those seeking stablecoin liquidity are fleeing to the long-time king, Tether, to escape future regulatory crackdowns in the US. Unlike Paxos and Circle, issuer of the largest stablecoin USDC, Tether is owned by Hong Kong-based company iFinex. That's Bitfinex's parent company. Yay. Also, question mark on Hong Kong company owning a bunch of USD to back a cryptocurrency, but what do I know? Data from DeFi Llama shows that Tether's latest gains brings its stablecoin market dominance to 50.77%. Entire market worth 136.93 billion. USDC, however, may still gain from BUSD demise in the long run. Binance CEO CZ has confirmed that his exchange will have to pivot away from use of BUSD when consolidating stablecoin liquidity, possibly making room for USDC to flourish again. And I can tell you, this is not financial advice, but I prefer USDC all these stablecoins and have for a long time here. Yeah, it's perfectly normal. Nothing to see here. Yeah, yeah, dude. Like I love the Chinese people, but the Chinese government has proven over and over again to not have your interests at heart. So they're pretty serious about winning, and they'll do it at any cost. So, but that was controversial, and now I can't be put on TikTok. So, back in September, Binance began converting most major stablecoins, including USDC, but not USDT, into BUSD when deposited to the exchange. This meant that any USDC sent to Binance was effectively sucked away into BUSD's market cap, which had a noticeable impact on each stablecoin's market dominance. Has also been sent a Wells notice by the SEC for allegedly issuing BUSD as an unregistered security. Really? Was it? Circle's chief strategy officer, Dante Disparate, said Tuesday that Circle is yet to receive a similar notice. So, interesting shakeup. Truly, this is a interesting shakeup. We have BUSD, which was really getting a lot of adoption. People were using BUSD on Binance to lock their profits in, and now it looks like it's either Tether or USD C. So pick what you'd like, but either way, don't keep the majority of your money on exchanges. That's good advice. So our final news of the day. I know, so sad. Japanese lending service adds XRP as its adoption grows outside of the US. So this specific story is relevant because we're seeing XRP grow in other large countries like Japan. So let's read. A Japanese cryptocurrency lending service operated by FuelHash, a cryptocurrency services company launched by Katsuya Kono, a former SoftBank and liquid exchange executive, has launched its XRP lending service. As first pointed out by popular cryptocurrency influencer Sento Sumosabe on the microblogging platform Twitter, the cryptocurrency is joining others in lending program, including stablecoins USDC and USDT. And on top, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, and Binance Coin. So here's the here's the Twitter. Neat. So the addition of XRP to the lending service comes months after various cryptocurrency lending platforms, including BlockFi and Celsius Network, filed for bankruptcy. Whamp, whamp, whamp. Amid the bear markets that affected this space. Lending platforms follow a business model akin to consumer banks that gather deposits from customers and lend the funds to institutional borrowers, such as market makers, for a set period. The platform earns a percentage of interest on those loans as fees, while the depositors receive the remainder of the interest. For FuelHash, deposited XRP can be lent for between 60 and 90 days, with an annual percentage yield between 1% and 1.5% for its users. A minimum of 100 tokens are required for the service to be used. While XRP adoption dropped in the US after several cryptocurrency exchanges delisted it in the wake of a lawsuit from the US Security and Exchange Commission against Ripple, it has been growing outside of it. So as Crypto Globe reported, Japanese finance services giant SBI Holdings has given its shareholders the option of receiving XRP as a benefit for the third year in a row in 2022, further showing the firm's support for the embattled cryptocurrency. The firm first started offering shareholder XRP benefits in 2019. SBI Holding has a history of working with Ripple, the largest player in the XRP market, including their joint venture SBI Ripple Asia in 2016 to promote the use of XRP. SBI has launched in 2021 a crypto asset fund that invests in XRP and 4 other popular crypto assets: BTC, ETH, BCH, and LTC. At the time, Tomoya Asukara, the president of SBI affiliate Morningstar Japan, KK, revealed that the fund would require an investment of at least 1 million yen, which is like $8,400. SBI Holdings has launched a new cryptocurrency lending service, allowing users, I'm yawning, why am I yawning? Allowing users to earn an annual interest rate of 1% on the Bitcoin holdings, with plans to expand the service to ETH and XRP. Meanwhile, Bill Morgan, who is qualified to practice law in both UK and Australia, has suggested the price of XRP could explode upward if the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple has a positive outcome. And I gotta tell you, I think it will. Really, I think they're doing all the right things. I think in due time, they'll come out of this ahead. They've lawyered up properly. They have a lot of, smart people behind them. I think the SEC is doing things that are counterproductive to America's financial well-being. But I suppose we have different regimes in America too. We have people who are pro continuing the system of kicking the can down the road, and then we have people who are really trying to solve the problems. And as you know, when you're really trying to solve the problems and you're exposing corruption, or you're exposing people who are nice and comfy where they are, you're going to piss some people off in the process. So it is what it is. And I think that we shouldn't yield. We should keep our focus. But if you would, go ahead and like and subscribe. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we have a Discord link in the description. We're very active in there. If you have any questions in the water cooler, ask away. I'm active in there. So if you have questions, you want my opinion on something, go ahead and throw it in there, and I'll be happy to take a look and let you know what I think. Thank you so much, everyone who is faithfully joining us and hanging out, reading the news, and talking crypto and where we're headed. From the bottom of my heart, I love you guys dearly. I'm the Data Lord. This is Coffee and Crypto and Coffee. Let's drink about coffee and talk about crypto. Oh, yeah.